And if I had a 9 to 5, no placements, no track record of success as a producer, would you want me to be giving you advice on your music career? Right now, would you be watching this podcast? Would you be subscribed to my channel? Do you ask somebody who has never exercised a day in their life how to win an Olympic gold medal?
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be enough for me to rant about. There's just a few things that a few points I want to get out there.
What's going down is the Music Entrepreneur Club podcast, presented and powered by BeatStars.com. It's actually another milestone. Today's the 60th episode.
Nice.
Pretty amazing. Where's the champagne? Well, we'll celebrate on the 75th, I guess, because that's another milestone. How are you feeling, Dame?
I'm feeling good, man. I got my Trade the Truth merch on. Asshole by nature is what I've come to learn it stands for. This was actually the shirt that he was raising money to support Vanessa Guillen and her family. And I just saw on social media, I guess he raised like $30,000. So I think this was part of the fundraiser. So, I'm a super fan. I can't say that I'm a super fan of his music because I only know a few songs, but I'm a super fan of, what he's doing as an activist and shedding light on certain things. So I had to support when I saw that he was raising money for Vanessa Guillen's family. So shout out Trade the Truth.
And plus, everyone's calling us assholes in the comments anyway, so it makes sense.
Hey, on brand. It's all keeping everything on brand, so it's all good. Where are we starting today? We starting with my topic?
Yeah, I lost the coin flip.
So I mean, and we're late talking about this, so I wanted to talk about Logic's retirement, and hopefully kind of shift the conversation away from Logic after I cue it up. But obviously there was a big hoopla around his album because he said he was retiring. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because a lot of artists have said they were retiring before, and then we continue to hear music. And I think this will be the case again. But what bothered me was like the reasons he said he was retiring. When I listened to some of the interviews, he basically said he kind of got bullied out of the game. Like he just couldn't take the comments online anymore, people talking negative anymore. And that's kind of what made me believe that this kind of just a marketing thing to kind of drum up more excitement for the album. I think he'll be back. And my main thing is, and I'd like to get your opinion, Payne, is like, one, you have to understand that coming into the game now, there's going to be a lot of chatter and people on the internet. There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of people online, and I've been victim to it. But there's a lot of people online that get off by saying mean things. They celebrate getting blocked. They celebrate, being annoying. They'll say some of the meanest things ever. But I just feel like the solution to that, if that is something that negatively affects you or, bothers you or puts you in depression, my solution to that is just the off button. Like go away. Like Logic's at a point now where he doesn't even have to touch social media if he doesn't want to. Like he doesn't even have to turn on his phone. Like he doesn't have to read comments. He can instruct everyone around him to say, hey, don't bother me with negativity. He can put out an album once a year, once every 2 years. Like his fan base is that big to just not be bothered with social media. And that's why I think it was more of a marketing thing. Because I just think that's a whack excuse to leave the game, because you just feel like you can't take the negativity. Because I think Chance has done a really good job at like establishing boundaries. I think J. Cole, I think once you get to a certain place, you can pretty much make music whenever you want. You can say, okay, I'm just gonna make music on every first Monday of the month, release one song. Like you can come up with whatever format or boundaries you want, and you never have to turn on your phone. Like your fans will still be there. Hopson's a good example of that. Hop don't release music that often anymore, like because his fans are that sticky. They're kind of like Logic fans. They're not going away. So I just thought that was pretty whack. Or you might think it was genius just by saying, hey, I'm retiring, to put extra, fuel. Because you can say anything these days, put extra little fuel on the fire, and then, get a nice little bump because of it. But Payne, did you even know his album came out or knew that he was retired?
Yeah, no, I mean, I go on the internet sometimes. I read things, but I guess the one thing that I would say is a glaring problem with his reason for retirement. So if he's saying, and I don't know what he's going through, I don't know what's happening inside of his head. I can't read his thoughts, and I've never had a conversation with him about it. I don't want to assume that it's a publicity scheme. I don't want to assume that he's fighting for his mental health and his peace either. I'll just kind of take him at his word. I just look at his post retirement plan as contradictory because he just signed a 7-figure deal with Twitch, which means he's going to continue to stay on the internet on an interactive platform where he's more than susceptible to trolling and to comments and to negativity. So I guess if I were pushed to retire because the internet was so negative and because the comments I was receiving were so overwhelmingly harmful, I wouldn't plan on, living my retirement out online on a platform that allows for comments, which is Twitch. So I don't know. I mean, there's certainly negativity on Twitch. I stream on Twitch all the time, and it's just like Twitter. It's just like YouTube. It's just like Instagram. It's people saying negative stuff, trolling, threatening, all types of stuff.
So yeah, I agree, and I watched a little bit. Like I happened to catch a little bit of his like album. I think it was his album release party on Twitch, and I think he said that they set it up where only people that pay can comment. I don't know if that's maybe Twitch, because I don't know if that's just the case. Like, can anybody establish
Uh-huh.
those settings on Twitch or
Well, I'm imagining if Twitch is giving somebody millions of dollars, they're probably willing to
right?
change the rules a little bit.
But it's
So yeah, I mean, if that's the case, look, then like I said, I don't want to assume it's one thing or another. If he worked that out with Twitch, then great. Then he's standing by his reasons for retiring, and that's just what it is.
but this is just and again, so shifting away from Logic because I don't, he's a successful artist. More power to him. If you listen to him, if you're a fan, great. And he seems like a cool guy. I've met him a time or two, but I don't necessarily listen to his music. But shifting away just from him, like anybody is getting into music or been online for any amount of time knows that it's not the most positive place, right? And I think you have to prepare yourself for how you want to deal with that, because I think in the beginning it's going to take a certain amount of fan engagement to get the momentum to hopefully eventually get to a place like Logic is. But once you do get to that place, if you're fortunate enough to do so, I mean, you have the ability to put boundaries in place. I mean, he's very successful, very financially successful. He can eat the right things to keep a healthy body. He can meditate. He can hire a therapist. Whatever he needs to deal with the negativity online, like he can do that, including pushing the off button. Like he doesn't. There's a lot. I mean, Lil Wayne doesn't go online. Jay-Z doesn't go online. And maybe that's part of the reason that they don't. I'm sure there's more reasons, but that stuff is beneath them and they don't want to engage with some of the negative comments. Like, you just have to know that this is part of the world we live in, and if you want to be in music, you have to prepare yourself for that, mentally, physically, and just how you want to set up your boundaries. Like, again, I think Chance has done a really good job of just being absent at times. I mean, he's active on social media a lot. He actually got raked over the coals for some things he said recently, but know that that's part of the game. So when people say that they're leaving because they can't take the negativity, it's like, to me, that's just marketing, because you don't have to deal with it at that level. Do you think you have to deal with it at that level? Like, couldn't he just log off the internet?
Yeah, I mean, I think number one, I'm not at that level, so I can't speak from experience. But the other thing too is, you know, the culture of the internet is just getting worse and worse. So at some point, either that changes or it's just going to continue to be this pit of negativity. I mean, it already is. And there are some pockets of support and positive interaction and all of that. For the most part, though, it's become this thing where like either you're on the internet creating content or you're on the internet trolling. It's become more polarized in the sense that if you're making, it's like the people over here make art and the people over here troll, and that's just their thing.
No, well, I
And
don't even know. I would even push back on that because that's not. I just think that that's the stuff that stands out because it does. Like, because I've seen, even when I used to manage like the socials for Funk Volume, I would notice myself responding more to the negative comments. Like the negative comments, they stand out because you're seeing like a bunch of support, and then bam, somebody jabs you, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta let this cat know what the deal is.
right, yeah.
But I think that, working with Brandy over the past month and a half, like her fans love her. Like I don't think I've ever seen a social media account with like so much love. And
But let me ask you this: was the culture that way when most Brandy fans became Brandy fans?
no, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think we just, people just went on. I mean, there wasn't no place to go online, but people just didn't like shit on you. I mean, there was haters, but I just think it's just, I mean, it's a different genre. She has a different energy about herself. Like there's, it's different, but it was something that stood out. I was like, wow, like there's like no hatred like on her pages, and there were some people that critiqued her album like negatively, but they didn't tag her. And there was like some of my actual friends, they didn't tag her, they kept it on their page, and they didn't go to her page to let her know how displeased they were with the album. I mean, and I'm sure she got a negative comment here and there, but it was overwhelmingly positive. So I guess I would say that there are definitely pockets where these lames don't come and attack you because they're upset with their own life. And two, I think there are ways to create make like maybe Logic has done, because that's not the only place where you can create a place just for your fans, right? There's hella platforms to do that where you can gate it so that you can even have just a Facebook group, and if somebody pops off, then you just kick them out. Like,
Yeah, I kicked out a bunch of people this morning from MEC. But the thing is, I think it's a generational thing. Obviously, we didn't have internet trolls before music lived on the internet almost exclusively, and because of the anonymity and because of probably a ton of other factors, we have a culture that includes, if not celebrates, internet trolling. And I remember I knew it was bad when it was one of these popular music posting. I think it was Hot New Hip Hop. They had a troll awards where they ranked their website's top trolls, and I'm like, yeah, here we go. I mean, this is now a part of the cultural makeup. This is music lives on the internet. Internet trolls are everywhere. They're part of it, and we just, I guess, we've accepted it. I don't know, but here we are, and it's not going to stop.
these sites are trash. Like most sites have turned into trash. Like Hot New Hip Hop has definitely turned into trash.
Yikes.
It's like the only site that's maintained its integrity is DJ Booth, really, from what I've seen. Um, Everyone else is posting drama, Kardashians, anything for a click. So shout out to DJ Booth for maintaining your integrity. And
Well, I
not.
think that goes along with the culture, though, right? I mean, clickbait, trolls, negativity, drama, all of that stuff falls under the same umbrella, right?
Yeah, I mean it's culture, but it's business driven, right? Like, I don't even know if some of these people want to post this stuff, but a Kardashian drama post what definitely gets more clicks than, an up and coming rapper that you think is dope. So
Yeah, sure. And then, people will just talk about how much they hate the up and coming rapper. And, everyone's competing for their one liner that gets a bunch of likes. I guess I don't. I guess I do understand. It's just you want attention. If the attention is negative, how many little kids want negative attention in the supermarket? They're throwing a fit, kicking in the air. You have grown adults doing that now on the internet because they just want likes. They want top comments. People want negative attention, and ultimately, they're not building anything because they're, you know, you don't get anything for being the top troll on a YouTube video other than attention.
right.
So it's this is a whole bigger conversation about the internet and attention seeking and negative attention versus positive attention, all that. So I don't want to get into that. I do want to rant about another YouTube comment. However,
Feel free.
if this is a good segue, because
Actually, let me just summarize for the people. Like, if you're getting into music, know that you have to ground yourself and prepare yourself for negative attacks. So that's eating healthy, that's maybe finding a therapist, that's meditating, and that's establishing your boundaries and just logging off when you have to and surrounding yourself with people that care about you. Just know that the environment that you're getting into, there's going to be a lot of people that are unhappy with their lives. And if you are the person that is trolling and you get a kick out of being negative, like, I've never seen anybody in my entire life that was like productive and doing something and on the road to being successful that sat online and just attacked people or went to other people's pages and attacked people. So you have an issue that you probably need to get sorted out. And I would encourage you to work on you if you are part of this negative environment. So anyway, that's all I have to say.
all the trolls have collectively quit trolling. Now they're running towards holistic acupuncturists, and they're all taking CBD tinctures and meditating as we speak. Yeah, so I got a comment the other day. What video was it on? I'll just read it. It's a comment from somebody with 0 subscribers, obviously either a fake account or somebody scared to stand by their own opinion, which goes back to the internet trolling. The anonymity allows people to say whatever they want because they don't have to stand by it. People can't walk up to somebody with a bullhorn and say what they will post on the internet, hiding behind a fake screen name. So I personally don't respect a person who hasn't tried, and I don't respect a person who's hiding behind a screen name. His comment is, we got to stop with it. And who cares who I respect or not? This is my personal philosophy. We got to stop misleading people with this beat selling thing. So this was a comment on a video of me either interviewing a producer about selling more beats or some kind of tutorial about how I structure my marketing to sell more beats. We got to stop with the misleading people with this beat selling thing. Yes, it is possible to make money online selling beats, but not for everyone. Whether dudes want to be real and admit it or not, I guess that's me. There aren't a whole lot of Cash Money APs, beat plugs, etc. They came to YouTube at the right time. Now it's oversaturated, and only a few will still get their beats heard by enough people to break even or to make significant money. I think pages like this, my channel, I think pages like this should also feature guys who have no plays, no following, but got bangers. You really want to help the community, put a spotlight on those on the come up as well as those who are already on. Have your staff, I don't know what staff he's talking about. Have your staff, I guess we're partners, we're not staff. Have your staff pick out producers that are fire but may not have the same reach as, say, Cash Money AP. I remember this was because I interviewed Cash Money AP. That's how you really help the community, but I'm sure that will never happen. It's all about who's making the money, right? So, I mean, I've interviewed producers who live with their parents but are making progress. I've interviewed producers who have never had a major placement in their lives but are successful at beat leasing. I've interviewed producers who don't even sell beats because they themselves are unsigned DIY artists who manage themselves, and they actually are recording artists on top of being self-produced. Somebody like Neon Vines. Somebody like Darrell Banks, who isn't a top selling producer but has amazing talent. Somebody like Dirt Boy, same position. I've had them on. Well, I've had Darrell on MEC, and I plan on having him again, just because he's talented. I don't need to sit there and talk about him making money. At some point there's a time and place for everything. But the thing that they all have in common is that they're all working hard and they all have a story. So his comment is, I think pages like this should also feature guys who have no plays and no following. Okay. If somebody isn't working hard and doesn't have a story, who would want to take advice from them? Who would want to watch an hour-long interview with them? Why would you take advice from somebody who isn't actually living what they speak on? Right. So do you want to succeed? And I know this is just a bitch-ass troll comment. It's not real, but I see this sentiment a lot with regard to the content on the internet. And we get these comments all the time. And they're completely weird. But if these people have the capacity to actually have an internal dialogue, they should ask themselves, do I want to succeed? If you want to succeed, shut up for a goddamn second. I mean, if DJ Premier walked into the room right now and started giving me advice, would I talk over him and say, I'd rather hear from somebody up and coming? No, I would take notes. He's succeeded at what I want to do. If a successful person is giving me advice, I'm not going to stop them from doing it. I don't try to control how they give me advice. I don't argue with them. Their experiences have value to me. Not all of them, but if I want to do what they're doing, I should probably listen to them. And if I had a 9-to-5, no placements, no track record of success as a producer, would you want me to be giving you advice on your music career? Right now, would you be watching this podcast? Would you be subscribed to my channel? Do you ask people who don't know how to make beats how to sidechain your sub bass? Do you ask an employee of a company how to process payroll? Do you ask somebody who has never exercised a day in their life how to win an Olympic gold medal? This is the crazy thing. Right now, there's a Facebook ad, because this all this stuff just becomes much bigger than one comment. There's this Facebook ad targeting producers. I've seen it a bunch of times. A lot of my peers have started sending it to me and saying, well, what do you think of this? Well, obviously I think it's idiotic, but it's some ad selling a guide or a class or something about how to sell beats online. And they showed a screenshot of their beat store revenue, and it shows that they've made $4,600 in the last 90 days. Divide 4,600 by 3. That's $1,500 a month. That's below the cost of living in the United States. So somebody who is living essentially in poverty is selling you a guide on how to make money off of your beats.
Well, I agree with everything you said up until that. I mean, I don't think that there should be like that dude has the credentials to like sell a class, but that dude might be doing beats like on the side. He could be like extremely $1,500 a month, like going from nothing to $1,500 a month. Like to me, that's a big deal, right? Paying like
it's absolutely something to be proud of.
Right.
Absolutely. I'm not clowning anyone for making $1,500 a month selling beats. That's amazing. They're clearly doing something right, but they don't need to be selling a guide on how to sell beats if they're not making a living doing it yet. I say make a living first and really get in because you're not an expert on it yet.
Well, that's just a larger issue, right? Like there's all kind of courses and ridiculous shit that people are selling. And before you buy something, I would just encourage everybody to like look at the topic of what that person is instructing on, and then see like that person, is that person living, is that person making more off selling you this training or doing what the training is about, right? Because like we don't even have a training. Like, you know, I think what we do is it's hard to have it. Like, I mean, we could come up with there's things that we can train people on, but like there's so many different paths to success in the music industry. It's like it's hard to have like a training that encompasses everybody unless you're just talking about like Facebook ads or something like that. Like
Right.
and I just don't feel comfortable doing it. But we're well within our right too if we had a training. Like I've made a good amount of money through music, through managing artists, starting a label. Like I've made a healthy living from music, and we did it from the bottom. Like we did it from not having crazy connects, a crazy amount of money. And then likewise, you have made a pretty successful career as a producer, like getting placements, collecting publishing, selling on BeatStars. Like, so I think we do have the credentials too. I would just encourage everybody, I so want to call out classes right now, but, and you know I do, but
Don't
any
do it.
any class any class that you are about to buy, just make sure the people have experience in making the living themselves, doing what they're instructing you to do. That's all I'm
Well,
gonna say.
here's what I mean, look, your label generated millions of dollars. How many artists did you have on the cover of Double XL 3?
Three consecutive years.
I mean, do any other independent labels have that accolade?
I don't think so. There might be. I mean, if you consider like TDE independent, and I don't know. I think they were like the only label that did it to my knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. So you have every right to sell a course, but you're not selling a course. Our entire, music mentorship program is completely free right now. Mondays and Thursdays, anyone can log in. It's interactive. It's not a course that we've created that's one size fits all. You can ask questions throughout the conversation that are more specific to your career. And, if we can get to it, we'll answer them. But we're there twice a week for free. We had a whole summit with BeatStars. And shout out to BeatStars, beatstars.world. You can check out the summit if you weren't able to make it, but that was free too. And you can look at the videos, free. Everything's free. I put out a video explaining how to, because people get so frustrated. Why don't you interview? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I put out a video explaining how to build up customer emails and then use that information to create laser focused beat ad campaigns. It got 4,000 views. A video called Fart Type Beat got 40,000 views. I'm not making this up. So, what do I do with that information? I don't know. I'm not gonna make a course. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna sell a course. I don't know. Everything is just, it's funny right now. It's a very funny landscape right now in the music business.
And I'm definitely not like anti-courses. Like I'm all for education. That's why the MEC exists. And maybe it's just, probably a few reasons why I haven't put together an actual course. And one of them is I just don't feel like it. But the other one is like I just don't know what the course would be about. I can't justify if I'm gonna ask people to pay for something, I need to know that it's gonna add a lot of value for everybody that buys it. And it's not like I don't think I can put together something like that. It's just that I haven't thought long and hard enough about it to figure out exactly what that is.
Right.
And yeah, but
that's my point. So if you just reach the point where you're like, okay, I'm making some money off of my business, I'm not where I want to be yet, what are my options? I'm at a fork in the road. I'm making $1,500 a month selling beats. Do I try to double that so I'm making $3,000 a month? Or do I say, you know what? I think it's time for me to make some money off of selling a course or selling a guide to my fellow producers.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're making $0 a month right now selling beats, or $100 a month selling beats right now, $1,500 a month sounds great. Do you need to necessarily pay for that information? And if I don't personally know top selling producers. I'm not saying they don't exist. I don't personally know top selling producers who are selling these kinds of courses. I know there are coaching calls with dudes like Wishmaster. I know that, and I know he knows what he's talking about, and I'll have him on again sometime soon. I already did an interview with him, but I don't know. I think most of us are just busy trying to get to the next level ourselves. It's not like I look at what I'm doing and say, okay, I just did something cool. Let me sell it. For me, it's like if I find something out, I'm going to share it with the community. I don't need to sell it because, one, I don't think it's worth asking people for money for that. Number one. Number two, I don't have enough time to create an entire course about something and then market it and this and that. Right now, my focus is making music and building my brand and getting to the next level. So I don't have time to make a course. And it's weird to me that somebody would be on the come up and all of a sudden say, all right, you know what, I'm going to take a detour and sell a course.
Right.
If you're on the come up, stay on the come up. What do you want? Are you trying to leave a musical legacy? Or you're just trying to cash out right now? And then if you're trying to cash out right now, okay, that's up to you. But the people spending that money should really be more careful with their money.
Yeah. A lot of these courses, it's the people that aren't doing as well as they say they're doing, but they see an opportunity to use like super hyperbolic language and these, click funnels and, these sales pages to get you hooked onto a course. And when they're really not doing as well as they say they are in the business. I mean, some of them maybe are. So I'm not gonna hate on everybody, but I know that a lot of people are overselling, whatever their course is, and they're trying to get their primary business to be education when they haven't even when they've topped out or plateaued in music. So yeah, just do your research. Post in our Facebook group if you're thinking of buying a course or anything like that, and see if other people have taken the course, see if they've gotten a lot out of it. Because some of these courses are fucking expensive, man. Like some of them are $500,000, and it's like, you better get something out of that. And I mean, unless you're just bred it up like that. But for most people, $500 or $1,000 is a lot of money. So you want to make sure you can get some type of return on your investment once you invest all of your time in learning, whatever it is on the table.
Well, I mean, there are courses on selling courses to other producers. I remember you still kind of see it a little bit, but I think it's died out. It was the whole, there was some guy named Parker Morris or something. He was on Instagram with some bots. He would just steal young women's pictures, create fake profiles to look like a woman, reach out to producers and say, hey, your beats are hot. This guy, Parker Morris, makes $1 million a minute selling beats online. Hit him up for a guide, and then they sell you the guide. And the guide is $50, and I've seen the guide. All the guide is him telling you how to make fake female profiles. They're not telling you how to sell more beats. They're not telling you how to make better beats. They're not telling you how to create sustainability. They're not telling you how to collect customer data. They're not telling you how to use customer data. They're not giving you any real substantial, actionable steps to build a real career. They're showing you how to scam people and get your Instagram account taken down. Same with that recent BeatStars thing where there was some third party companies saying all the top selling producers are using this bot. All of them are using this bot, which was a lie because it just came out that week. So how could all the top selling produce? So you know what I mean? And it's just this lie to try to get you hooked in. The person behind it was not a top selling BeatStars user. It's just someone who's trying to make quick money off of everybody's desperation and everybody's need for a shortcut. So
And speaking of that, I still am getting
World Star.
messages from World Star.
How many fire emojis are you at? You were at 20 some last time, weren't you?
I stopped. Obviously I stopped responding, but like, you know, it continued to. It said your submission is now $30 instead of $40, so they're dropping the price. You have 15 minutes to get your discount. And then a few days after that, it let me know. It said I've been selected. The song I submitted, they tested it with their followers, and now it has 12 more fire test ratings. So I have 12 more.
Nice.
As a result, you've been selected for the only discount of this contest. We'd like to pay for part of your submission. They're saying they're paying, so it's not necessarily a discount. They're paying for part of my submission.
That's way better. That's totally different. Honestly, I think how much money do you think they make a day off of this? Probably a lot.
And it makes me want to cry that they're successful at this. But then the last message was like, Damien, do you have a new track for us to check out before we select the artist to sign a $100,000 contract? So they're asking me if I want to send another song in because they're about to, you know, give somebody $100,000 contract. This is, man, please don't send money to any bots. Like, you know, please, like it's terrible. Like nobody's listening to this.
Well, speaking of nobody listening, we're at about the 40-minute mark, so I don't want to lose our listeners either. But I do want to end by saying, again, our seminars are free. They're interactive and they're free. Shout out to BeatStars for powering the MEC. BeatStars.world.
Well, before you, we do, and we never typically promote this, but we do offer consultations one-on-one, and those people have to pay for. So even though we never plug it, I will let people know that we do one-on-ones, and you can go to musicentrepreneurclub.com to book a one-on-one. I think those are helpful because I think, you know, you come with a specific problem or a specific topic that's catered to your specific experience or whatever you're going through, your specific brand. So I think those can be helpful. Although we don't even promote them because it's not something that, you know, we want to spend a lot of our time doing. But if you've listened this long to the podcast, then, you know, just know that those are available if it's something that you want to do.
Yeah, that was a good plug. But, you know, if you're skeptical, which you should be, Mondays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are live and free on BeatStars.live. That is the new MEC. It's a Music Entrepreneur Club, music mentorship program, music business mentorship program, I should say. And it's free. I keep saying that, but that's the truth. So tune in. Earlier you mentioned Facebook ads. That's what my session this week is about, Facebook ads. So by the time this podcast comes out, it'll already be archived, but you'll be able to watch the whole thing for free.
Oh, and lastly, just reminded me because there was somebody that came onto our Instagram page and was asking for like resources for music business, and it's like, do you know where you're at? Like you haven't attended a live session. You come onto the MEC page and ask for. So please don't be this clueless and understand. I mean, I would imagine everybody listening to this podcast knows what we do. So, but it's hilarious sometimes the comments we get on our page. So join our live sessions.
Yeah, because if we keep getting comments like this, we're going to retire. All right, we'll catch you on episode 61. Peace.
Peace.